Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Working Conversations podcast, where we talk all things leadership, business communication, and trends in organizational life. I'm your host, Dr. Janel Anderson. Psst, you want to know what I just overheard in the break room? That's how it starts. Some juicy or scandalous tidbit overheard by a salacious coworker who just can't help themselves. They get a rush from the drama, the intrigue, and they can't wait to tell someone about it. The result? Office gossip. One of the most corrosive and damaging things for an organization's culture. Today, we're diving into all things office gossip and providing tips on how to curb it. Whether you're the subject of the gossip, the audience for the gossip, or the actual gossiper. Okay, so what actually counts as office gossip? Probably more than you initially think. Office gossip includes the informal and often speculative conversations and rumors and discussions that take place amongst employees at work. It's typically about people's personal lives, relationships, behavior, or performance, maybe of your colleagues, your managers, or sometimes even senior leaders. It spans a wide range of topics, such as rumors about promotions, layoffs, office romance, romance outside the office, conflicts between coworkers, and even personal details about someone's life completely unrelated to the workplace. It often spreads through casual conversations, sometimes at social gatherings or informal channels like at the break room while you're filling your coffee cup or even in a restroom. Now, office gossip might be thought of as harmless, and maybe it feels like simply a way for employees to bond or share information, but it can also have negative consequences. Gossip can lead to the spread of misinformation, it can lead to misunderstandings, and it can create a toxic work environment. It can certainly damage relationships, it can create a culture of mistrust, and it can even impact people's professional reputation or career advancement opportunities. Okay, that's what it is, but why do people do it? Well, people engage in gossip for a bunch of different reasons. First, gossip creates social bonds. It can serve as a way for people to connect and really feel like they know each other. Sharing information about other people, especially in that shared social context of the workplace, can create a sense of camaraderie and connection among coworkers. Second, gossip satisfies people's need to be entertained. That's right, entertained. Humans have a natural curiosity about other people and their lives, and there can be an even stronger pull for gossip at work because we're interested in people's work lives as well. And gossip offers a diversion from regular mundane tasks at work, and it satisfies this desire for novelty and excitement and drama. Third, gossip can be a form of emotional release. When someone's frustrated about decisions that have been made that maybe didn't fall in their favor, gossip provides an outlet to express those frustrations, to vent their emotions, or otherwise cope with workplace stress. Sharing concerns or grievances about others may offer a temporary sense of relief or validation, but word up, my friend, it is never going to lead to an actual fix for a bad situation. Fourth, gossip is an information channel. Gossip can sometimes be driven by a genuine need for information inside of an organization. In a work environment where information is shared infrequently and is insufficient in detail, people may turn to gossip as a way to gather insights or stay informed about important matters because people really will fill that absence of information with their own ideas. And finally, gossip is organizational currency. People who have the inside scoop feel a sense of power and control in an organization. And sometimes that gossip channel is the only power that they have in the organization. The more they know about what's going on behind the scenes, the more status they feel like they have. And gossip might also result from insecurity. By discussing the shortcomings or failings of other people, the gossiper might falsely feel better about themselves by comparison. And from a more nefarious angle, by spreading information or rumors about others, those who are gossiping can manipulate people and create diversions amongst their colleagues. Okay, So that's what it is, and that's why it happens. But it's super important to note that even though gossip provides temporary gratification, it typically comes at the expense of someone's privacy or trust, and it negatively impacts the overall workplace harmony, culture, and climate. So, what can we do to minimize the negative impact of gossip in the workplace and work harder at developing a culture of open communication and trust and respect and professionalism? Well, we're going to take a look at what to do about office gossip from three different angles. Number one, if you are the subject of the office gossip. Number two, if you're on the receiving end of the gossip, you're the audience for the gossip. And number three, if you happen to be the gossiper. We'll take a look at each of these in turn, and I'll offer you some tips for each instance. Okay, so let's say you find yourself in the unfortunate position of being the topic of the day at work, and you are the subject of the latest buzz. Here are 3 tips for you. Number 1, stay composed and remember that this will pass. While it is absolutely natural to be upset and upended when you are the subject of the latest rumors, or truth, depending on, do your best to remain calm and not get defensive. Reacting impulsively or defensively typically adds fuel to the fire of office gossip rather than making it go away more quickly. Take a few deep breaths, and if it's a minor situation, remember that the topic of the office gossip will move on soon to something or someone else. Tip number 2. If the situation is more serious, however, we do need to move to more serious tactics. So tip number 2 is gather information and address the situation head on. Find out exactly what's being said and who's saying it. Seek support and information from some of your most trusted colleagues. Assess whether there's any truth to what's being said or if it's just simply hearsay and rumors. This will help you determine how to address the situation. If false information is circulating about you, address the situation directly with those who are spreading the rumors or the false information. Now, you're going to want to do this in a calm and direct manner. Your main objective should be to clarify misunderstandings and false information, not to defend yourself. Be firm in your request that the person stop spreading false or inaccurate information. Now, the third tip, finally, if that doesn't work, we're going to step it up a bit. Tip number 3 is to seek guidance from human resources or your manager and document the incident. Now, hopefully it won't come to that for you, but if you are regularly the topic of office gossip or what has occurred is particularly egregious or damaging to your reputation or your career, keep meticulous records about everything that's occurred and get the support of your manager and your human resources team. Make sure you also focus on self-care and well-being as well. Seek out the support that you need, including support from friends and family and mental health professionals if needed. So that's what to do if you are the object of the office gossip. Okay, now let's say the gossip is not about you, but you don't like to be an audience for it. You don't like to be on the receiving end of it. You know it's damaging to the organization's culture and you want no part of it. Well, here are a few tips for you, starting with a light touch and getting a little more assertive as we go. First, change the subject to something more positive when the office gossiper comes around. Be assertive if you need to. When you focus on more positive things in the workplace, you're setting an example for others. If simply changing the subject doesn't work and the gossiper gets more insistent on sticking to the gossip, well, then we need to step it up to tip number 2. Tip number 2 is to let the gossiper explicitly know that you're not interested. So express your disinterest and your disapproval directly. You're going to say something like, hey, I'm working to keep a positive vibe in my space at work, and I'm just not comfortable talking about other people when they're not present, especially when it concerns our personal life or whatever the topic might be. Now, you may need to get even more assertive and say something like, let's just keep our conversations to professional topics. I'm not interested in talking about people's private lives. So, in doing this, you might have to repeat yourself a couple of times, especially if you are somebody who has been an audience for this person and their office gossip in the past. It's going to take a few attempts before they start to really get the hint. Now, people who gossip a lot at work don't always have a very high sense of self-awareness. And so, again, it might take more attempts than you think it should in order for them to really get the hint. Now, if neither of these attempts work and you're still found as an audience for the office gossiper, put some distance between you and the office gossip. You may need to limit your interaction with this person or these people. You can always excuse yourself to use the restroom. And if that's what you decide to do, follow through with it. Go use the restroom so that you're not being seen as insincere when you're stepping away. It's like I always tell my kids, just go try. Everybody can probably go. Just go try. Now, also try to spend more time with those who are a positive influence in the workplace, because if you're stepping away from those who are the gossipers, you may find that leaves a hole in your social circle at work. So find the people who are more positive and spend more time with them and less time with those who tend towards gossip and drama. And if there is particularly malicious or harmful gossip flying around, you may need to report it to your manager or your human resources team. So that's what to do if you are the audience for gossip. And remember, changing the dynamics of the workplace may take some time, especially with the gossipers, so be patient. Also, be persistent and assertive when you need to be. By actively demonstrating your disinterest in gossip and setting clear boundaries, you contribute to making the environment one that promotes respect, professionalism, and healthy communication. Okay, now what if you are the gossiper? Maybe you're recognizing yourself in a new light after hearing this episode so far. What can you do to rein yourself in and not be the machine of the office gossip? Well, here are a few tips for you. First, pay attention to what you're talking about. Acknowledge the self-awareness that you have right now in this very instant and take that into future conversations. When you feel a little rush of adrenaline that likely courses through your body when you hear a juicy tidbit, well, slow yourself down and think twice about passing it along. Ask yourself, does it serve this person for me to be sharing this information? And how does my reputation get impacted when I share information like this? Do people think of me as the office gossip? Is that how I want to be known? So engage in a little self-awareness and a little self-questioning and stop yourself before you share that information with somebody else. Second, practice self-control and don't perpetuate incomplete or inaccurate information or information that could cause harm. So think critically about information that comes your way and ask yourself what level of discretion should be used with that information. Is it something that you should keep to yourself? If so, do so. Also, ask yourself if you would want this information circulated if you were the object of the information. If the answer is no, then definitely keep it to yourself. Third, if your gossip takes the form of complaining or venting about decisions that were made in the workplace or other concerns that you might have at work, find more productive ways to address the situation. Instead of gossiping or venting, consider taking the issue to the person who made the decision or somebody who can do something about it. Perhaps share more of the rationale behind what went into the decision with you. You might also seek out a trusted friend outside of work and share the issue with them, perhaps seeking their advice as well. Now, these alternatives can provide you with solutions or at least new understanding to situations that you don't agree with or approve of, and then you can get the support or the relief that you need without gossiping. Now, especially if you are the gossiper, remember, breaking the habit of gossiping will require time and effort. It won't happen overnight. You'll have some successes and then you'll catch yourself having a setback. But by practicing self-awareness, practicing more self-control, and looking for more effective solutions to actual workplace problems, you can develop healthier communication habits and contribute to a more positive work environment. You've got this, my friend. I know you do. Alrighty, there you have it. What office gossip is and why it happens, and what to do when you're the subject of it, what to do when you're the audience for it, and what to do when you are the gossiper yourself. Go forward this week and combat office gossip. You will make the workplace healthier and happier, my friends, and that is good for everyone. If you enjoy this content and you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe button and knock that little bell so that you get notified every time there's a new episode out. And I'm making other videos there too, so even if you're listening on a podcast player, you're going to want to head over to youtube.com/Janel Anderson, PhD, and subscribe so that you don't miss a thing. Wherever you're listening or watching, please leave me a review. It helps other listeners find the podcast, and it just plain old makes me feel good. And you know what else? It makes you look good. People love to read your reviews. All right, until next time, my friends, be well.